Welcome back to our F1 2020 Ferrari Return to Glory career mode, and this very interesting season 2 so far. We've got round 4 of the season today then, the Spanish Grand Prix. But yeah, last time out then, went head to head with Max Verstappen for the win at his home race, and he came out on top on that occasion. But yep, things have continued to tighten up then in the championship. We're just 15 points behind our teammate Charles Leclerc, down in 5th place then, but we still lead the constructors, so you can just see how close it is. And today then we fast forward only a few more days then, as it's back-to-back races then with the Spanish Grand Prix. And right at the end of the last episode you would have seen that we got an aero upgrade on the car, and yeah, that's a nice step forward then. That's pretty close up to Mercedes and Red Bull on that front, and also just overall really. There's just been like almost an ominous lack of upgrades from other teams so far, so you know, I'm glad that we're getting some upgrades on the car, because I feel like it's only a matter of time surely before Mercedes, Red Bull, Racing Point are all upgrading as well. So yeah, in practice then we managed to get some more resource points there, saved up quite a bit at the moment then, so we can try and go for a big upgrade here hopefully, as yeah, we gain some more driver acclaim there as well there. And here we are then looking at the chassis. Now we want to get a big upgrade on for Monaco if we can, but we can only do that if we rush the development through then. So we're going to go for that then. There's a 33% chance it fails, but I mean surely one of these days it's going to go alright and we're actually going to get the upgrade through when we rush it. So that's what we're going to try and do then, because if we can get that on the car for Monaco, then that would be, you know, just a huge plus for us going into that weekend. And yeah, we'll just have to hope then that this time it actually does work out then, as we head now then into qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix. Weather's looking nice and clear this weekend then, after a couple of rain affected races then in the last couple of rounds. So we'll see then what our dry pace is like around this track. It's a track that I quite enjoy, so I was hoping here that qualifying would go quite well and we would advance through to the top 10 at least without any issues. As yeah, unfortunately that didn't really turn out to be the case initially, because yeah, I just wasn't getting a good feel for the car then, couldn't really hook up a good lap, which was strange because in practice the car felt good, but just once we were in qualifying just couldn't hook up the lap, and I had to do 2 runs in on that set of tyres to get through, but thankfully we did get through in the end then. Only 12th though, so we want to try and improve on that, as there's just some crazy times there being set at the front, just 13s being set by the Mercedes there, and also our teammate Leclerc. Raikkonen, Grosjean, Russell, Giovinazzi and Latifi are the cars then that dropped out in that first session, as we head now then into Q2, and hopefully then we can get through. Although we have a big snap there through, I think that's turn 11 there, so this may not be the best lap then. Of course we will try and do 2 runs then in this session, so it's not going to be all on this one, but still we would have wanted this lap to go a bit better than it has done, as we are going to come to the line now then, and it is a 14.5, so not terrible, but I think we're going to have to do a bit better than that then, just to ensure that we do get through to the shootout here. We are marginally up then through sector 1 on this lap. Hamilton's still to improve as well there then, because he was on mediums initially, so we know that he's almost certainly going to be bumping us down here then. There's still almost nothing to choose between our 2 lap times then as we head into this final sector. And just once again then, just making a bit of a mess of it here, which is very frustrating, but thankfully it doesn't look like anyone's going to bump us down here then, because we're last across the line and we were in 10th place there, so we are through to the shootout. But once again then, we need to find a bit more pace here if we're going to, you know, challenge for you know, a good result here. Obviously Spain is quite a difficult track to pass on, or the Catalonia circuit I should say. And yeah, we head now then into Q3. Bottas then setting the initial benchmark there of a 13.5, which I'm just nowhere near. Like, I don't know how on earth they're setting some of these lap times in qualifying, because I can just never get anywhere near them. That was a particularly bad lap, that one though, only a 15 flat there, so we know we can do a lot better than that, and that's what we're going to now try and do then on this final run, on this fresh set of tyres then, because we were on a used set then for that first run. And already then into the first chicane then we're finding some more time, so yeah, this is looking like a much improved lap then, as we are already up then by a tenth and a bit then through this first sector, and that's setting us up nicely on our way then. Just have to maintain it through the rest of the lap now then. as we head now then towards the final part of the lap. We're up by 0.3 per second then, heading into the final sector now, and this is where we've been really just messing up so many times then, just not hooking it up and costing ourselves a lot of time because of it. And this time it's looking a lot more tidy than we're just gaining time hand over fist here then compared to our previous lap. A little bit of a lock up into the final chicanes which hurt us slightly, but still we've managed to recover it, and we're on for a big improvement here by nearly a second to the line, and we improve to 5th position then, just as it was in the Netherlands. So yeah, we managed to recover it then and get a decent qualifying result there. But just look at that gap though, we're 0.8 off pole, because Hamilton, Bottas and Leclerc were all in the low 13s there. I don't know how on earth they're doing it. Verstappen was a few tenths shy of them, but he still comfortably got 4th place there. 6th for Sainz in his home race, and Albon a bit disappointed again there in 7th. Leclerc then gets the edge over us again then in qualifying to move slightly ahead then in this rivalry, but hopefully we'll be able to claw it back in the race as it was in Zandvoort, because yeah, our quali pace then tends to be quite a way off compared to our race pace, although it might just be the AI pace is way up in qualifying compared to the race. As you can see, it's overcast then for the race, but no rain, so it's looking like it's going to be a dry race then, only the second one of the season, and we'll see then how things play out. If we can move up the field then, challenge our teammate and the Team Mercedes, we'll now head into the Spanish Grand Prix.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, the scientist, and Sainz, Albon, Perez, Ocon, and Pierre Gasly, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, and Norris, Raikkonen, Grosjean, George Russell, and Lance Stroll, Giovinazzi, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Here's a strategy for today then. Because we started on because we qualified on the soft tyres, it does mean there's going to be a 2-stop then today, going over to the medium tyres twice then. You would think though that those outside the top 10 will probably go for mediums and go for a 1-stop, with the freedom of what tyre to start on, so we're going to have to watch out for that. It could well be another repeat then of Bahrain potentially. No one got through on the mediums in the top 10, so everyone inside that region is going to be in on the soft tyres then, apart from obviously Lance Stroll, who had that grid penalty. So yeah, he's going to be down the field then on the soft tyres, and then I think it was Gasly, who was 11th, who moves up to 10th then, who was going to be on mediums. But yeah, everyone else then in the bottom half of the field then is going to be on mediums, so we're still going to have to watch out for that then. We're going to have a really good first stint, or else it could well turn into a repeat of Bahrain. We'll have to wait and see then. We line up on the grid, and the lights are coming on now. Away we go, and it's a very good launch for us there then, going straight into overtake. This has been a good start for us then. We're past Verstappen, we're already in the slipstream of our teammate here then, down towards this long run towards turn 1, and Verstappen has hit us there then. We nearly lost the car, but Verstappen lost a bit of his front wing there. A bit of contact in turn 1. We had contact right at the end of the race then, last time out, and before we even got to turn 1 we collided this time then. I don't really know what I did there, but Verstappen certainly seemed to just go into the back of us as the Team Mercedes then continued to lead, and that's a Ferrari 3-4 behind them then. Leclerc still up in 3rd place there, Sainz up to 5th then in front of the home crowd, so they'll be enjoying that then. But yeah, Verstappen falling down the field then with front wing damage, and he is going to have to pit then at the end of this lap, surely with that one then. as we see then the replay of the start. Then the two Mercedes then side by side towards the first corner, then a very long run to turn 1 here, and I don't really know what I could have done differently there, because Verstappen just seemed to drive into me for some reason there. We'll see it on board. We just had a very good start compared to him there, straight past him and straight into the slipstream of our teammate. Then he ducks back into the slipstream, and then I don't really know what he's trying to do there, but he certainly drove into us there and, well, damaged his own front wing. Thankfully didn't damage our car there miraculously, and just he'll be having that sinking feeling there, then just so much understeer in that long turn 3. On board here with Science, and well, he was very lucky there as well, because yeah, he collected some of the debris there, then almost had a bit of contact with Verstappen himself there then, but still a good start then for the Spaniard then in front of his home crowd. We see then on board from Lewis Hamilton, the pole sitter, and he did not get the best start at all there then, with Bottas getting alongside and actually overtaking him then towards turn 1. They still go side by side then, Hamilton round the outside, a little bit of contact there in fact, and then Hamilton got the inside line for turn 2, but then he was on the outside again for turn 3. Of course the two Mercedes collided here in 2016, but they managed to keep it clean this time, and Hamilton managed to retake the lead there then. So we skip now then to lap 4, where the two Mercedes then, having now had that little squabble there on the first lap, are starting to really pull away now then, starting to leave us behind, and for once this season they're looking like they're in control of this race at the moment then, which yeah, it's been quite surprising lack of form from them so far. But yeah, it's just been how crazy the season has been, I guess, just a testament to that. As we skip now into the end of lap 5, where we're in DRS range here at Leclerc, as the team were already calling us in then for our first pit stop. We're reeling in Leclerc then with the DRS here, with Rich and overtake there, but we just weren't quite close enough. We didn't catch quickly enough down the straight, and we're going to have to just settle him behind then for the rest of this lap then. But it does look like the team are going to call us in first, as we just had so much dirty air there through turn 3 and nearly understeered off the track there. And we do pit then at the end of the lap, and so is Lewis Hamilton then from the lead of the race there. So it's looking like everyone inside the top 10 here is probably going to have to do this 2-stop strategy here then. And yeah, we'll see then how it plays out, because as you can see on the mini-map, just a lot of cars coming through then, which you would think are going to be doing a 1-stop here then, having started on the medium tyres. So it could well be another Bahrain here, as we come out of the pits then. We're down in, well, it's 16th position then. Sainz, Perez and Ocon, I think it was, all pitted behind us. Verstappen then, having pitted on lap 1, is just coming through now then as well. He's going to join in on that little group as well. But yeah, we're down in 16th place then, and we've got some work to do now then to battle through the field once again then. And we, well, first up then is going to be Antonio Giovinazzi then. Alfa Romeo certainly not having the best season so far. Williams starting to really catch him up then in the development race, and we've taken Giovinazzi there quite comfortably there into turn 9, I think it is, or turn 10, and that moves us up then to 15th. We're having a look then at Latifi into this chicane. Well, obviously it wasn't worth the risk there at all, especially as we're now going to have DRS then down this straight, and we should get the move done quite comfortably. Leclerc then is in the pit, so is Albon there, so is Bottas, and well, it's going to be close here then. We've got DRS on Latifi, and that is helping us then past Leclerc, because I think we sort of tucked Latifi in behind our teammate there. He sort of went defensive, but then realised that, oh, there's cars coming out of the pits here, so he had to back out of it, and that just allowed us to move up past both of them there then. And only half a lap later then, we're going to take the other Williams end of George Russell into this tight turn 10, I believe it is then, and through into the top 10 once again. But in all this then, the two cars that now lead are the two AlphaTauris. Danny Kvyat leads away then, less than a second ahead of his teammate there, Pierre Gasly. We could well be on for another shock result here, like we did in Bahrain, and it was Kvyat on the podium that time as well then, we can't forget, so he could be on for another very strong result here. But yep, still a long way to go then. But has to be said, the two Mercedes are not making the progress that you would expect them to be making here. And that lead they built up in the first stint is, well, it's all just falling away now then, because we've closed right up to the back of them then, as they're really taking, well, too long then to clear through these cars, and it's just allowing the AlphaTauris to just maintain that gap up at the front. And yeah, well, they're still just sat behind the Haas of Roman Grosjean at the moment then, as Hamilton now has got a good run here out of turn 3 and into turn 4. He is going to take the Haas driver then and he finally is going to make some progress then, and we'll just have to wait for our opportunity as well then, because yeah, we've got to wait for Bottas as well to make a move as well then, unless we can ambush him then somewhere before that. Down into the tight left-hander then, and Bottas running outside of Grosjean here. Can he make it stick? They're side by side, and up through the right-hander then at turn 12, and it looks like he's just about done it then. He pushed Grosjean wide, and that almost opened the door for us there, but not quite, and Bottas then gets through, but we're going to have to sit behind then and wait for the DRS here then if we're going to get the move done on Grosjean here. Hopefully we can, because Grosjean of course is going to have DRS as well here, so it's going to be quite a tight drag race in between us. He's going defensive then, but we're going to still get the move done then. It looks like on the brakes towards turn 1, we've just about got alongside, and then yeah, managed to get it done then on the brakes, and we managed to not lose too much time there to the two Mercedes, especially as they're still making their way through the traffic as well here then. Bottas now making a move on his compatriot Kimi Raikkonen then, as yeah, it's going to be a repeat of the last time then. Is Raikkonen going to get pushed wide again? Yes, he is, but once again we're just not quite going to get the move done, but this time we're alongside, and on the brakes we're going to go for it. That was a bit of a risky move there, but we managed to make it work, and yeah, we didn't really lose any time at all there by doing it, so yeah, that worked out quite nicely there, because it allowed us to stay on the back of Bottas. On the next lap then, we're a little bit closer to him this time, so we may well have a chance here with DRS. Some of these one-stoppers are now starting to pit then. Norris is in, Ricciardo's in, Gasly's in. Meanwhile though, we're lining up Bottas here towards turn 1. He's gone defensive, but we're just keeping our footing on the inside line, up the inside into turn 1, and we're through and up into 4th, and that was very similar to Vettel's move on Bottas back in 2017 there then, as Bottas went defensive. Didn't quite do the swerve that he did on that occasion, but yeah, he's saying he still made it difficult for us then, and yeah, we managed to just about get it done then, using a lot of our overtake there to get it done, but yeah, that was the important thing was that we did get it done then, and it was 4th, but now it's 2nd then, because Fiat and Magnussen then were the last of the one stoppers there to pit, and they now come in for their stops. So yeah, we're up in 2nd place then once everyone has made their first stop, but obviously it's not going to stay that way then, because we're going to be pitting again. As we see there, it's so close there between the two AlphaTauris to what could potentially be the race win there, but Fiat just about did enough then, despite Gasly having the undercut, and yeah, that could well be crucial then, as the team are now calling us in on lap 19. Bottas has actually pitted a lap earlier this time then, so he'll be trying for an undercut then by looks of things. We come in then on the next lap. Hamilton decides to stay out, interestingly. Leclerc also stays out then, but of course you'd expect that then, because obviously they wouldn't want to stack us there, but I don't know, maybe they would have thought of, you know, pitting him a lap earlier maybe, but I guess not. As we'll see then how much work we've got to do then. The two AlphaTauris go through, Ricciardo's gone through, but who else then of the one-stoppers? Magnussen and Norris are closing in then. It looks like Magnussen's going to have us as well here then. We're side by side there with Norris here towards turn 1 on the brakes. We're very close here, and we've just done enough where it looks like to force him out, have we? We're still side by side there entering turn 3, and we're still side by side all the way around this flat out right-hander, but it looks like we have just about done enough then, and we, well, are in 7th place then for the time being, but hopefully we can make a bit more progress then up the field. Obviously Leclerc is still to pit, and so is Hamilton, but I would expect Hamilton to still be ahead of us here. We'll hopefully be able to clear Magnussen quite quickly, and then we've got a nice bit of free air in front of us to actually catch up to that lead group. As Leclerc pits then, that moves us up to place then, and we do get the move done on Magnussen then, who understandably there put up quite a fight, because he's on for a good haul of points then if he can hold on to it. But yeah, we're 4 seconds then behind Hamilton, who has got another 4 seconds then back to Fiat. And here then is the race leader with just over 10 laps to go. Could it be Danny Kvyat's first win? And what a redemption story that would be, because of course it was at this track where he got dropped in favour of Max Verstappen, who then went on to win on his Red Bull debut. So what a redemption story that would be if he were to, well, 5 years later take the win at this track. As we are very slowly then closing in on this group. We've pretty much lost no time to Hamilton, but that's because he's now caught up to that group and he's not making any progress there. Sergio Perez then, his season started so well, but it's just all going off the rails now then, and he has DNF'd then from outside the points. So yeah, it was not a good weekend for him at all there, well, for the Racing Point driver. as we are very slowly now catching up to this lead group then, and we should be on course to catch him by the end of the race, it looks like, because we are taking still some big chunks out of him, and Hamilton is still not able to make up any ground here then. I think just because Ricciardo has DRS on Gasly, that's actually helping him defend from Hamilton and just keeping the Mercedes driver behind here. As we see then Alex Albon, his miserable season continues then, and that is a reliability issue there then from 11th place. So again, he wasn't even on for points there. Verstappen passes him, so it's not been a good day at all there for the Red Bull team. But yeah, another dismal one then for Alexander Albon there in the Red Bull. As we move on then to lap 31, where we're right on the back of this group now then. We've latched ourselves onto the back of it, and we'll see if there's anything that we can do, because there's certainly nothing that Lewis Hamilton's been able to do here then, and nothing that Ricciardo's been able to do either. He is on the same strategy then as the two AlphaTauris, but obviously we saw him have a very strong race in Bahrain, so I would have thought maybe he would have challenged a bit by now. But still then, we can just see that with all of us in a DRS train here, there's just no chance of making any progress. So if we're going to make any moves here, then it's going to have to be in an unconventional place here, and I think that goes for sort of everyone in this group as well. As with just over a lap to go, you'd have to think now that if Kvyat can keep on the road, then he's got the win in the bag here, because me or Hamilton, we're not going to make enough progress in one lap here to actually be able to catch him up here and take the win. So it's looking like we're going to have another shock result here, that it's going to be 4 different winners from 4 different teams. This is shaping up to be another 2012 season potentially here. We're just having so many crazy results so far. Now we've just got one sector to go now then, and Hamilton is still over the back of Ricciardo, as we were very late there on our brakes, and we've managed to catch right back up then. Nothing's going to stop the two AlphaTauris now then from taking a famous 1-2 here in Catalonia. As we head into this final sector now then, it's still in 5th place, but Hamilton's left the door open there into the chicane, and we have absolutely finessed him there into the final couple of corners, as Kvyat is going to take the win then for AlphaTauri. It's a 1-2 for them. We have managed to nick 4th place on the line.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, Crofty, this was won through an abundance of speed and an abundance of skillful overtakes. Inside, outside, cutting underneath, we saw it all today. And it's really nice to see a Grand Prix won in that manner. A race, surely, that will satisfy the purists today, I think.
As we await the winners to take their positions on the podium, one thing is clear. AlphaTauri have really shown their prowess on the track. This is a team that isn't afraid to take risks, whether that's on the circuit or in the new talent they hire. Today, those risks certainly paid off.
Let's enjoy that last lap pass again then. There were just so many times during the race where I thought, oh, some of these drivers are really leaving the door open there, but I just couldn't risk it because, you know, there was still like half the race to go, and I didn't want to risk like breaking my front wing there. But just, you know, you leave the door open there on the last lap. You know, I had to go for it there, and Hamilton was just like, what on earth has gone on there? But we see then the onboard from Ricciardo behind as well, and yeah, we just see it there then. We had to time it right then so that we didn't run into the back of the Renault there, but thankfully we did that then. There are the final results though, and just this season just gets better and better. We've now got Danny Kvyat then winning for AlphaTauri. I mean, it's a 1-2 for them, with Pierre Gasly in second, Ricciardo on the podium then in third. So I think I'm right in thinking that Verstappen, Kvyat and Ricciardo are actually the only three drivers I should say, that have had 2 podiums so far this season. It's just mad. Mercedes have only had 1 podium. They were 5th and 6th today after looking dominant in qualifying. We were 4th then, Leclerc was only 7th in the end. The team McLaren's got points, and Verstappen got the fast lap there and 10th place there, crucially. So he did recover something then from this race. But yeah, certainly was a day to forget for him then. And yes, mix things up once again then. In the driver's standings, well, just look how tight it is now. Leclerc with a 5-point lead over Lewis Hamilton, who's still did close in today then, despite losing that place on the last lap. Kvyat is up to 4th with 2 podiums now. I mean, how on earth is this possible? But he is in the title fight, I guess, at the moment. We're in 5th then still. We're just 9 points behind our teammate now. Bottas is still down in 10th. But I mean, he's only 33 points behind. So I mean, one good result and he's back in it. But it just looks terrible for him right now because he's down in 10th. It doesn't look good at all for Albon. He's down in 12th and he's only got 4 points. Same for Lance Stroll there. You know, racing point, supposedly 4th, but he's only scored 2 points so far, incredibly then. And we see then Ocon overtook Giovinazzi today then further down there. So yeah, we continue to lead the way then, but only by 13 points because AlphaTauri with that 1-2 have shot back up to 2nd place in the constructors' standings. Mercedes then still 3rd. They've overtaken Red Bull today, I believe. And we see then still McLaren in 5th place there. Racing Point down to 7th. So this just turned into a bit of a nightmare for the team that won the first race of the season. Haas 8th, Alfa Romeo 9th, and Williams then are the only team yet to score points.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing. Do you have any comments about the collisions? Thank you for your time.
As it was then in Zandvoort, we managed to outrace our teammate after being out-qualified, but he did get a faster lap than us, so we were actually level in terms of the race, so he does still hold a narrow lead over us then in our rivalry, but still looking very close there. We gained some nice acclaim there as well, so we should hopefully be at level 12 then after the next race. And yeah, well, it's been another very exciting race then in this crazy and unpredictable Season 2. Next up, we've got the most famous track of them all then, the Monaco Grand Prix, and I mean, what better place to go then when we're in the middle of, you know, a potentially classic season here then. So yeah, hope you're looking forward to that one then. Hope you enjoyed this one as well. If you did, then really appreciate a like on the video, and yeah, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time.